if you have found out about Trump's proposed tax plan and the details that were given by Stephen Mnuchin, you might think that the tax cuts that are going to be given to the richest Americans are the biggest way that you're going to be screwed. And they are certainly a big way. But it turns out that there's other ways that you might be screwed in a way that could theoretically hurt progressives for literally decades going forward. And so I want to break down some of those. And as I'm reading this, bear in mind that in other videos I've compared the Trump tax plan to the Bush tax plan. And you might think, oh, it's just because it benefits the wealthiest individuals. No. In almost every way, it will look a lot like the Bush tax plan, including that it slashes corporate tax rates by nearly 60%, from 35% to 15%, taking $2.6 trillion out of the federal coffers over the next 10 years. Now, right now, only 1 out of every $9 of federal revenue comes from corporate taxes. Compared to 65 years ago, it was 1 out of every $3. We've talked about that in videos before. That 1 out of 9 is now. And we're about to cut corporate taxes by 60%. You were just saying a minute ago that we are supposed to have the highest tax rate, but in effect, it's the lowest. Well, let's bring those down to matching each other. They actually will be perhaps the lowest. Now, in addition to that, Trump would cut the tax rate on those on offshore profits, coming back from 35% to just 10% on cash and only 4% on non-cash. I'm not good at math, but that's something like a 90% tax cut. In addition, for hedge fund owners and people who own what are called pass-through entities, he's going to cut their taxes by 2/3 to just 15%. Oh, and he's also, of course, going to eliminate the federal estate tax.
Okay, so let's stop right there. In a previous story, we talked about how Trump convinced Carrier, which is a heating and air conditioning company, to keep maybe as much as 1,000 jobs here in the United States instead of sending those jobs to Mexico. One way that he convinced them is through subsidizing financial benefits, basically using taxpayer money and giving them a financial incentive to stay here in the United States. So that's part of his economic policy, right? Here's how you convince these corporations to stay here, to keep jobs here. You give them taxpayer money. So how do you have enough taxpayer money in your revenue in order to pay all of these corporations money to convince them to stay here in the United States? So you're cutting tax revenue significantly, right?
60%.
Among the wealthiest people in the country who already don't pay their fair share in taxes. And then you turn around, you also say that you are going to pay these corporations taxpayer money in the form of subsidies, financial incentives to keep jobs here.
Yep.
It makes no sense for anyone who has...
If you own Carrier, it makes good sense.
Of course. But as Cenk loves to say, if you are someone who has at least 2 brain cells to rub together, you can tell this doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That is the case.
That's what's going to happen.
Now, I mean, look, the problem that we've had for a long time in America, and the reason that we have outsourcing is, for a lot of companies, it is simply cheaper to set up companies or factories in other countries where they have a lower standard of living. And you don't have to pay them as much, and they don't have unions for the most part, and the taxes might be theoretically lower. We always figured we need to find a way to get them to stay here despite the fact that American workers have it better. He's found an alternative solution. Simply fuck over the American workers. And in fact, cut out their minimum wage, cut down the corporate taxes, make America a third world country again, and then the companies don't have to go anywhere. It's just as cheap to pay almost nothing to your workers here in America.
Hey, now, but they're employed, right?
They're employed. And the overall problem, and what I alluded to in the intro, was that the most recent version of his tax plan is estimated to cost us about $10 trillion over 10 years. Now, that money is going to have to come from somewhere. After all, it is spent on a variety of things. Now, you could make up for a lot of that by cutting the military. I don't think they're going to do that. And now I want you to think about how we're going to pay that off over the next 10 years. I mean, do you remember the debates that we had over like food stamps and how they're going to cut $20 billion in food stamps? We had this big fight, the huge effect that that's going to have on millions of Americans. That is a drop in the bucket of how much money we're about to lose. Now imagine how many food stamp-sized progressive priorities you need to cut to make up for $10 trillion over 10 years. And so by cutting these taxes, he's going to be able to do what George W. Bush so wisely did from a conservative point of view. By simply eliminating the money, you then eliminate the programs. And we know from hard experience, it's damn near impossible to stop additional tax cuts from happening. It is basically impossible to ever raise taxes again in America. And so when Trump cuts them, those progressive priorities are gone, poof, gone. for decades and decades and decades. You will not see those again, whether it's food stamps or the environment, perhaps workers' rights and protections, consumer financial protection. All those programs are going to be cut now. And this is the shit that I was saying all year, that if you fuck around and let Donald Trump become president, that is going to hurt you. Death by a million cuts that you don't even see coming, and there's no healing coming for literally decades if it ever comes. And we are now seeing that plan being put into effect.
I know, John, but look, I know you've been saying all this stuff all year long, but what you fail to remember so quickly is emails.
That's true.
Emails.
I did forget that.
So let's all talk about emails.
Thank you for reminding me.
But no, this is, I don't know. As I've mentioned on the show before, and this is a risky statement to make because a lot of people are going to get hurt as a result of this administration and as a result of his so-called economic policies. But it could be a teachable moment for our electorate. It could be a moment where we finally stop attacking the powerless in the country and we advocate, or we become advocates for ourselves. We educate ourselves through the unlimited resources that we have on the internet and become educated voters, right?
Yeah.
And not just believe anything anyone tells us. Believe the simple talk that some, businessman who's gone bankrupt 6 times tries to peddle us. We need to be smarter voters, right? And that's not to say, oh, you have to vote for Democrats. I want you to vote based on your best interests, but I want you to do it in an educated way.
Yeah.
That's all I'm hoping comes out of this. Even if things become destructive, even if the economy tanks again, please, in the future, don't believe shit that you read on Facebook, okay? Just make sure you're an informed voter and don't believe the hype.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm trying to look at the silver lining of all this.
I'm largely of that.
You have to eliminate fear and hate for people to start thinking about actual things. Because fear and hate clouds judgment. It clouds the way you think about things. You go, yeah, all that makes sense, but I'm mad.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of that person.
Yeah, if you
I'm
think that
afraid
there's
of those poor people who rely on food stamps.
Yes.
Fuck those kids,
Yeah.
right? They're the real problem.
We are made to be overwhelmed by emotion, especially the negative emotions. If there's a tiger in the bush, I don't care about tax rates. I care about the tiger. And if there's a black or Hispanic person in the bush, I'm equally not concerned with tax rates. They're scary and they're out there. And we have now seen that. That's not the only explanation for why Trump won, but it is an explanation, and it's an extremely hard one to actually fix.